Instead of holding Stefanski accountable, the Browns fans and the Browns media are basically saying what? Oh, the O-line is trash. And Barry need to be fired because he got all of this, but he got all these quarterbacks, he got all these running backs, but he didn't get no O-lineman. What did I say after the draft? They got the sides, the dessert, but they didn't get no entrees. So now they want to blame Barry. They say Barry should be fired. And I told somebody, I said, y'all want to blame Barry. I said, and by no means am I defending Barry. I said, but you blaming Barry because y'all don't have an O-line. Who you going to blame for drafting Dillon? Because he was an undrafted free agent. Who you going to blame for keeping Shedeur on the bench? Who you going to blame for supposedly telling Barry to go fetch Deshaun Watson? Who you going to blame if Barry is told to go fetch Arch Manning and that don't work out either? Y'all want to blame Barry, the black man in the room, who unfortunately allowed himself to be used. And this is where Barry is going to learn a valuable lesson that they don't like you either, broski. It ain't just Shedeur. So his karma coming for him. So I'm not defending him. They can fire every last one of them. And what did the Cleveland Browns do today? Shout out to What She Said Sports Media Team. Y'all lit up my email today with this story about the Browns decided so they could get out of town and move to Brook Park and take the name with them, that they willing to pay the city of Cleveland $100 million. They're also, in addition, or including the $100 million, is they're going to pay $30 million to demolish the old stadium so it doesn't just sit there and ruin the city and look like blight. So shout out to the mayor for that. And they're going to pay $25 million for some type of residential housing, this, that, and the other. But the price tag for them to scot out of town and have all the lawsuits dismissed, the cases dismissed, including the Art Modell law about the name, is they're going to pay the city of Cleveland $100 million to be able to leave. I'm not mad at it. If the fans don't care enough to get up and fight, then the man did a good job. He like, fine, you can leave, but it's going to cost you. As it should, because there were measures put in place so that this doesn't happen to the city again. And those fans are really loyal. So much so that one came to me today, and shout out to her if she followed me, no disrespect. But she was like, well, Barry is not the one. Barry is this and Barry is that. I said, excuse me, who drafted Dillon? Because that wasn't Barry's idea. Barry thought he was going to draft Shedeur. And you can go back and listen to all Barry's pre-draft conversation saying, no, I don't think we're going to have a problem with Coach Prime. And Shedeur, Barry thought he was in charge. He thought he was drafting Shedeur until when? You saw his face on draft night. You saw. And then what did he do? He promptly threw Shedeur under the bus because he'd rather have his job. Andrew Barry, our money ain't good money. So you took your Harvard degree and you used it for toilet paper to reel Shedeur in, knowing the philosophy and the racism that's rife around the Cleveland Browns, knowing that the Browns have never had a black franchise QB drafted first round, knowing that back in March, y'all had decided to trade away that pick to Jacksonville. But all y'all, Barry included, run down there to Colorado, still trying to reel Shedeur in so he could come and be embarrassed at the draft. And when that didn't work, y'all locked him out. And Andrew Barry, his owner and the other 31 took Shedeur off the board. And Andrew Barry is right there. He works at that facility. He knows that every day discriminated against Shedeur, and he allowed it to happen. So fire him too, because he thought he was different. He thought he was a different kind of black. No, they don't like you either, broski. So shout out to Mike Tomlin for calling out Andrew Barry. And another